Hi there, next up for review we have a Ricochet release of the sequel to a game I reviewed a couple of months ago, which many people consider a classic and I don't. That game was Manic Miner and this game is Jet Set Willy. So here's the cover. It's a Ricochet release, which as usual means it's adapted the original packaging, and there you can see it. So it's got the Jet Set Willy logo and done in a kind of graffiti spray paint style. And then we've got Willy himself with his head down the toilet and a bottle of champagne in one hand, obviously feeling a bit the worse for wear after a party. Got the logo on the side as well, and on the back some screenshots which look pretty naff Spectrum like, because that's what the screens look like in the game. So there's a little bit of blurb there as well. Can you help Willy, our intrepid explorer and nouveau riche socialite, clean up the mess in his huge mansion? Beware, there are some strange things going on in the further recesses of the house. And inside the packaging, of course, we have the instructions, setting the scene. Basically, he's got to go around his house after a wild party and collect various things. And inside, got the loading instructions, controls. You can see there, Commodore 64 conversion by Shahid Ahmad from the original Spectrum game by Matthew Smith. And we've got just some loading instructions in the other languages there. And that is all. Okay, so this is the title screen, and as you can see from the title screen, it isn't actually Jet Set Willy, it's Jet Set Willy II. I should also mention it took an age to load, which for such a basically simple game seemed ridiculous. So you've got a scrolling sort of text scroll thing there telling you all the instructions, the controls and so on, some credits. This version of the game, which is converted from the Spectrum original, which is based on the Spectrum original Jet Set Willy, was written by John Darnell and S. Birtles, not sure who that is. John Darnell, more famous on the Commodore 64 for doing the two Kane games, which were by Mastertronic. So, Jet Set Willy II is kind of a remake of the original Jet Set Willy, which had several bugs in it on virtually every system it was released on. So this one's supposed to iron out the bugs and then also add some extra screens and things, extra rooms. Anyway, enough of the introduction, let's get on with the game. So here I am in the first stage, and you can see I'm in a bathroom with a purple bath. There's a angry looking toilet on the right hand side there. And the idea of the game, if you didn't know, is that having made his fortune in Manic Miner, Miner Willy has now bought a mansion, and he's had a party in the mansion, and basically he's got to clean up after the party, so you've got to go around and collect lots of items to clean up. So unlike Manic Miner, you're not isolated to a single screen at a time. You can move around from screen to screen. Most things kill you, just like in Manic Miner. You just have got left, right and jump, just like Manic Miner. The graphics are very similar to Manic Miner, just like monochromatic Spectrum style graphics. You've got quite a few lives. There's lots of unusual enemies on each screen, like this sort of macaroni thing here. And basically it's a case of just move around from screen to screen, try and collect as many items as possible without dying. The graphics are a bit glitchy, you can see Miner Willy's glitching a bit there. I don't know how you're supposed to get to those two things there, because you can't, I mean, you can jump onto those lifts. So, just like in Manic Miner, Miner Willy moves really slow. He's got this annoying arcing jump that once you start you can't stop. All of which is a recipe for frequent death. I'm back on the screen I started on now with no obvious point in doing so I'm just going to go back this way. So it's quite inventive in the layout of the screens. it's slightly more enjoyable than Manic Miner because you can go from screen to screen. It is supposedly riddled with bugs, or the original Jet Set Willy was. This version's probably removed some of those, but the most famous bug probably is the fact that sometimes you'll materialise on a screen on top of an enemy and just die over and over again. Hopefully that won't happen too soon, so we can go through a few screens. Just like the original Manic Miner, they used some classical music as the background music, which is reasonably well done. The biggest problem with the game, of course, is it's a Spectrum game. It wasn't converted very well for the Commodore 64. It's just exactly the same game, exactly the same graphics with no enhancements to take advantage of the Commodore 64 programming. There we go. That's Maria, your housekeeper, who won't let you go to bed until, and she kills you, until you've collected all the items, or as many items as possible. I don't think you actually have to collect them all in this version of the game. So effectively it's just a case of wandering around from room to room, trying to find items. Really kind of boring. There's a lot of Marias there. You can see this is going to be pretty challenging to get that item there. Hang on, what's happened here? I look like I've turned into a flying sheep all of a sudden. Look at me, I've like, the sprite's completely changed. I don't know what's happened there. Bad programming, I seem to be a flying sheep now. Whether that's intentional or not, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll turn back into Miner Willy when I go back onto the next screen. There I am. Yeah, it's just on there I'm a flying sheep. Peculiar. I'm actually progressing through this further than I thought I would. I haven't actually lost that many lives yet. What's going on here? How am I supposed to get down there? Oh, it's just a horrible game. I've never been a fan, as you know from my review of Manic Miner. This I would say is slightly better than Manic Miner, but not by much. All the same problems remain: instant death, slow movement, naff graphics. I'm never going to get through there. Let's go back the other way. Oh, for God's sake. I don't see how I'm going to get through this level either now. And look at this, I've kind of materialised in the middle of a staircase there. Got one life left. I've collected 2 items. It's a bit pathetic really. I don't think I can be bothered to continue. I've been playing for 8 minutes, making very minimal progress. Wandering around at a snail's pace. Oh, that's not going to happen either, is it? Oh, he's changed direction. I can see exactly what's going to happen here. I'm going to end up jumping up and hitting this bird. Or maybe not. Okay, I've got a chance to collect one more item there. And so it goes on. The music's boring now. The game is boring. And basically, Spectrum fans, if this is one of the standout titles on your machine, that just shows how bad it was. I don't think it really is. I think people have a fondness for this game that's based purely on nostalgia rather than actual quality of the game. And people still maintain it's a great game, but basically they're wrong. Oh, look at this one. This one's got like a kind of a cool... If I jump down there, I'm dead. Kind of a cool swinging rope effect on it. Oh, I've actually managed to land on there first go as well. So I assume you get off this by dropping down at the bottom. There we go. That was quite clever. That was one of the more clever moments of the game. A bit more inventive than the usual rubbish. This is a cold store which is full of penguins. Seem to remember there was a level in Manic Miner that had a lot of penguins in it as well. And there goes another life. Just the one left. Oh, and I've just killed myself rather stupidly there, but I don't really care. So there you go, that's the end of the game. Game over. and back to the title screen. You can see little graphical glitches all over the place on it. It's a right mishmash of crapness, really. You've got the Jet Set Willy on the front cover, Jet Set Willy II on the game. It takes an eternity load. The graphics are all glitchy all over the place. The gameplay's naff. The music's annoying. And basically, if you wanted to pay $1.99 for that game, then all the best to you, because you've basically wasted your money as far as I'm concerned.
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
2, 1, 0.